But kind of a little Bible study here. No 3 points, no point. But kind of talk back and forth on some things having to do with, well, let me ask you this way. Do you have an Old Testament favorite story? I have one. That's where I'm going to go tonight. But I wondered what others might have that you say, when I think back on the Old Testament, I have several. Give me one. What? Say it again. I'm sorry. Yes. That one, that's worldwide. That story's known around the world. It's a great one. Boy, so many applications. You hear it applied to sports teams a lot of times. Got one?
David and the fish yet.
Yes. That's an awesome story. The grace of God comes out of that all over it, doesn't it? What a man David was. We did a study on him at our previous church, and he heard himself. We did one on Moses too, and Moses went on for about 12 weeks, and when we finished, the study, when I was doing it on my own, I just got really teary when I saw him on the mountain and not being able to go in. And he became my favorite because I knew he was a man God used in spite of his weaknesses. And that just was special to me. And because I think that says a lot about the grace of God too. You got another one? Somebody say David Goliath, good shepherd. Got another one?
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard so many good messages on that passage. Give me another one.
My favorite is the story of Job, and particularly the part where God answers Job and says, "Stand up and put on your pants like a man."
Big boy dance.
And I'm going to question you. And then you start rolling through this whole list. And so many times I'm feeling a little prideful or arrogant. I read that passage.
It brings you to your knees. And it's poetry. When you read it, it's poetry. Never was a fan of poetry, but it is that whole book. Somebody else got a favorite story?
I like Isaiah chapter 6, Isaiah 6, which vision of God.
Somebody else? This changes, doesn't it? Sometimes you're studying and something else becomes your favorite story or one of your favorites. I'll tell you mine, because we're going to look at it just briefly tonight. I need 4 weeks to go through what I've prepared tonight, but I didn't bring it tonight, so don't worry. It's not here. But I have studied, when I finish my Sunday school lesson study for my class, then I go to something else. And so when I had time to do that, usually at the end of the week, I studied Naaman. Naaman goes back to my childhood. I got saved when I was 10 years old, and I remember my mom telling me this story, and you know the song, right? And he did, and he did, and he did. And it came up clean. And it just is an awesome story. And I remember parts of it. Listen, that's been 66 years ago for me, but I still remember the lessons and what it meant to me. And then the more I studied this thing, the more I realized I didn't know maybe as much as I thought I did about it. So Carlos, I went through the whole chapter very, very slowly. Gwen and I established a Christian school in Raleigh, a church school, in 1977. We went there. It was just the two of us were teachers. And life was simple. We had about 17 kids. And I had faculty meetings on the way home in our little Toyota. And it was nice because it was simple. God blessed the school. And as we grew, I think we ended up as simple anymore. And one day, in fact, when Glenn and I interviewed with the pastor whether or not to come to Raleigh and start the school, there were a lot of schools that were started, Christian schools, or white flight, to escape any kind of integration. And so a lot of Christian schools didn't have a good reputation, especially with minorities. So when I interviewed with the pastor, I asked him about this, because our church didn't have at the time many minorities. I said, what are you going to do when our first, let's say, black family comes and applies, wants to be a part of Raleigh Christian Academy, their school, their child in our school? And he gave me a great answer. He said, it will be the same answer as if they come to our church to join our church. He said, they come, they know the Lord, love the Lord, they want to be a part, they're a part. So in 1977, we didn't have any minorities. It was just us, a bunch of white kids. Then we came along in 10 years, and the complexion of the school changed. We had probably close to, if not over 30% of our student body when we were running maybe 600, 500 maybe by that time, were minorities. And so we had some that came, we realized, for the wrong reason, and it didn't take long for the Lord to weed them out of our school. But one day, a lady came to me, a black lady, very well-educated lady, and she said to me, Mr. Tippett,